Emmanuel, God is with us. Emmanuel, God is with us. Well, you guys, I'm sharing with you the tomatoes that I'm growing from seed this year. I have to upfront tell you that a lot of tomatoes that I start from seed, I've not been somewhere along the way I get careless, and not all of them get in the garden. And then of the ones that get in the garden, I have another level of carelessness where, seize the day tomato seedling, where I just put them out there and whoever lives, lives. Only the strong survive. And so I've never, ever, to my best knowledge, gotten fruit from chocolate stripes. It has grown for me. It's gotten to be a sizable plant, but I've never gotten fruit from it. And I think I just used my last chocolate stripe seeds, and I'm trying again this year. I don't think they say how many days to maturity it is, but they say this is a delicious tomato in a salad or a sandwich, and they say it's good in any zone, and it's native to Peru. So, Peruvian tomato. Sounds good to me. If I don't get it going with this one, I'll buy another pack of seeds and try again, because I want that chocolate striped tomato one day. Aunt Ruby's German Green. I've been trying to grow this tomato for 10 years, maybe 15. I have not been successful as of yet, but I may have it out in the garden now. We'll see if it made it this winter, but I'm starting some new ones for my fall garden. Yeah, it's February. And I'm starting my tomato seedlings now. They won't go in the garden until June or July, which means fall tomatoes. So it is what it is, unless we have a really hot May. If we have a hot May, because the weather's changing nowadays. If it's hot earlier in the year, then I'll plant them. But as long as it's gloomy, like we have June gloom normally, I'm not going to plant tomatoes in the June gloom. It's not a big deal. So that's why I plant in July. But if we have a hot May, and I think that it can make it through the gloomy June and really stretch out and give me tomatoes maybe in July, maybe I'll go for it. Because I think this is a German tomato, which means it's not used to ideal conditions, but it will grow for me. It's out in the garden now if I didn't kill it. Moch Fidge organic tomato. They say this is cold tolerant, and as I like to winter sow my tomatoes, because I'm in zone 10B, I like to have them grow over the winter and then fruit for me the next year. That is why I go for cold tolerant tomatoes. It does sometimes get down to freezing at night, and I like for tomatoes to be able to make it through that. These are 4 to 6 ounces. That's the size tomato I like. And I also wanted to support a small house. This is Flip Marketplace side. And I wanted to buy something from them. I had a wonderful experience. I got these seeds during the COVID time when I was just sitting up in the house with nothing to do but look for new tomato seeds. And they had something else called Nepal, which that sounds like it's growing in a place where it's cool. Nepal doesn't sound like a warm place, but they got a 10 to 12 ounce tomato. And God bless them. These people in Flipside call a 10 to 12 ounce tomato a medium large. If I had a 10 to 12 ounce tomato in my gloomy coastal garden, I'd call it huge, okay? Bright red, and they say they're soft, meaty, and old-fashioned tomato flavor. Sounds delicious. So I got that tomato from them. And these are just tried and true American tomatoes. These are kind of like the Bonnie's Best from the Campbell Soup tomato. This is Homestead. It's a tomato from the 50s, and this is from Baker Creek in 2012. I got this in a trade with somebody. And then we have Rutgers, which is a heirloom tomato that I picked up at the 99-cent store. These, I think, are both determinate tomatoes. I'm not sure. Do they say? Oh, yeah. They say medium late determinate. So it'll give you a pretty big harvest of determinates. And some say Homestead is indeterminate, but I think it's determinate. But those are nice, reliable tomatoes that most people can harvest irregardless of your weather. Like sometimes when the tomatoes are harvesting in the summer, it gets kind of hot. These will pull through when everybody else might say, I'm not really into this. Now we have the Pomodoro Castelluto Fiorentino. Castelluto Fiorentina. It's my best Italian accent. Okay, it's not really that good of a best Italian accent, but it's the best for me. And my college best friend is Italian, and I spend a lot of time in Italian households for all my life. I'm an old lady, and I just do. So I hear the accent all the time, but mine's still bad. As has been my experience growing this tomato, I got it in the garden, but it wasn't hot enough for it, too much shade, and it just stayed there as a little stick and didn't do anything. But I'm determined to taste this tomato from my own garden, so whatever conditions it has to have, you know, we got global warming and all that, I think the good Lord is gonna work on this for me, and I'm gonna see this tomato. So it just looks gorgeous. I think it might be kind of a paste tomato shaped like a beefsteak tomato, but it just looks like a work of art, and I want to grow it. There was another one that I was trying to grow that was like this, that was shorter time length. This one is another, what I call pumpkin tomato. You plant it with your pumpkins, you harvest it with your pumpkins. But they had another one that was only 60 days, and they aren't selling the seeds for that one this year. So I just had to get that, the one they had available. Maybe my gardener has the other tomato seed. Maybe I'll pick it up along the year for next year. Well, let's go on to the delicious tomatoes. This is a tomato that is my favorite beefsteak tomato. It's a top. It ties for the number one. I have two tomatoes that are my favorite beefsteak tomato, and red brandywine is one of them. I think I got this from a YouTuber who was selling tomatoes, who was selling seeds for like 25 cents, and you paid $7 shipping. And so you just go on there and order like $30 worth of 25-cent seeds, pay your $7 shipping, and you get it. He was very generous. Look at all the seeds he gave me. And he grew red brandywine tomatoes, and I grow red brandywine tomatoes, and I don't think I will ever be without this tomato. It grows in coastal California. It grows in shade. It bears its fruit in my cool, overcast spring season, and it grows tomatoes all the way until summer, before the nematodes take out the root system. I love it. And it gives me big, what I call huge tomatoes, 10-ounce, 12-ounce tomatoes. And then it starts giving me a whole bunch of tomatoes that are still good slicers. And this is that tomato where you hear the angels singing, you know, when you take a bow, you can hear the harp music in the distance. Oh my goodness, it's heavenly. This tomato, God made brandywine tomatoes, you know, and God made the person who grew brandywine tomatoes. These tomatoes are a gift from the good Lord himself. I grew the red ones. These aren't even said to be the best ones, but these are the only ones I've ever tested. And as long as I got seeds, I just haven't been interested in trying any other. This tomato is amazing. You know, I don't have to go any further. I could just grow a whole garden full of red brandywine beefsteaks, tomatoes, and I'd be all right. Never tasted anything like it. Nothing else tastes like this. This is not a tomato. This is a heavenly fruit. This is ambrosia from heaven. That's all I can say about it. And it's one of my top two. It's my, as you know, it's my favorite tomato. But I have another favorite as well. This is Old German. I think I've had this one. I grew it one year, and I got a tomato that kind of looked like the pink brandywine tomato, and it tasted okay. And I never grew it again, but I still have a few seeds left. So I thought, well, let me try it again. It grew winter sowed. I winter sowed it, and I tasted the fruit, but it's no brandywine. If people tell you this is brandywine, this is not. The tomato was a little watery. It's not sweet. It's not tart, though. It doesn't have a lot of acidic, but it's kind of bland. Mine was kind of bland for a pink tomato. You know, I expected more, but it was big. It could have fooled you. You might have thought it was a brandywine, but if the pink brandywine tastes like this Old German, I prefer my red brandywine. This is the closest I've ever gotten to a pink brandywine. This tomato here, that is my jam. Me and the good Lord go in the garden and have us an alfresco feast. Just one tomato, that's all you need. No salt, no sugar. God put it all in tomato. We sit in that garden and have ourselves a time. Mortgage lifter, another tomato I've been trying to grow. I haven't been successful at mortgage lifter. But I'm trying again. What can I say? I think it's a 75-day tomato. And they say it can be over 2 pounds. You know, so they say fruit's acidic with a fruity sweetness. I tried winter sowing it with the Old German. Only got the Old German, didn't get the mortgage lifter. But I'm going to try again. Or I might have got it and, you know, the critters might have ate them because I had some tomatoes that I didn't get to eat in the garden. So that might have been one. And it might not have lasted long with the harsh conditions of my summer soil. Okay, so I'm going to just call it a day at that and go on to the next videos of my odd rare tomatoes and my short days.